Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review and 10-hour wear test with two brand new Giorgio Armani products. I recently used both of these in a get ready with me trying out new makeup products, and I asked you guys if you wanted to see a full review and wear test. And of course, you guys said yes, so I am here with it today. We're going to be talking about the Giorgio Armani Power Fabric High Coverage Foundation Balm. So I initially thought this was a cushion foundation, and it is not. It's an actual balm. And then this concealer right here, which is called the Power Fabric High Coverage Stretchable Concealer. I've worn these products several different times, several different ways, so it's not at first impressions, it's definitely a review. And I've also got the 10-hour wear test for you. But before I get into all that, I've got to tell you a little bit about each of the products. First off, let's talk about the foundation balm. This retails for $64 and it contains 9 grams of product, or 0.32 ounces. So there's not a lot in here, but I'm telling you, a little definitely goes a long way. When you open it up, there is like a little sponge that comes in here, but I've already lost it because I never use those things. And then you open up the side right here and you can see it is a balm. And when you touch it, it feels very creamy, but then it goes into like this powder-like texture. On the Giorgio Armani website, it says it's a full coverage natural matte foundation that transforms from a blendable balm to a powder for a soft, focused, shine-free finish that lasts. The award-winning Power Fabric Natural Matte Full Coverage Liquid Foundation, now in a transformative texture and on-the-go format. Ultra long-wear pigments deliver all-day matte coverage and a revolutionary balm-to-powder technology that transforms from a sensual balm to a blendable cream during application and finishes as a powder for a flawless, non-greasy look. On the Giorgio Armani website, it did not tell me whether this was for dry, normal, combo, oily, or any type of skin. So I went and looked elsewhere, and I found on the Nordstrom website that it says it's suitable for anyone with any skin type who wants full to medium coverage and a satin finish, which, you know, obviously on the Giorgio Armani site, it says it's a natural matte finish. And it also says here that it's waterproof. So I'm not sure about that claim, but that was on the Nordstrom website. I want to go ahead and show you guys the demo of me applying the foundation before I get it into the concealer. So on my face, before I apply the foundation, I have my usual primers on my pores. MAC Skin Refine Zone and Tarte's Timeless Skin Smoothing Primer. On the perimeter of my face, I do not have any primers at all, but I am wearing the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream, which is not a primer, but it's a more moisturizing moisturizer than what I usually use. Because of the finish of this powder and my combo skin, I feel like it looks its best with that. I use a dampened Linda Hallberg sponge to apply this, and I just pounce this all over, and you can see the coverage right off the bat. Like, you get the coverage you need and you really do not have to go over. I find that if you go over this foundation more than once, it's a little heavy, so I don't suggest doing that. One layer works just fine. And the finish on top of the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream is a little bit more on the satin side, but then when I finish everything off, it does go straight up to matte. When I zoom you guys in, you can see that everything just looks really nice and smooth and perfected. It's just a beautiful foundation on the skin. Now let's move on to the concealer. Again, I'm on the Giorgio Armani website, and it says the Power Fabric Concealer, a high coverage matte concealer that easily blends to correct and naturally cover in one step. A high coverage matte liquid concealer that easily blends to correct and naturally cover in one step. From dark circles to redness and blemishes, this concealer's long-wear pigments deliver high coverage payoff to hide imperfections throughout the whole day. This non-creasing stretchable concealer is formulated with time-releasing oils to seamlessly glide across the skin for easy blending and long wear result. This concealer can also be used across the eyelid as an eyeshadow base to increase shadows wear. Now let's get into the product application of the concealer. I have the shade number 3. I think I forgot to tell you guys that I picked up shade number 5 in the foundation. So let's go ahead and apply this. I like to apply it a little bit further down because I don't want too much up here. That's my method. I always start a little bit lower and work the product up. And again, I'm using my Linda Hallberg sponge. This blends out so beautifully and so effortlessly, and it doesn't feel like there's anything there. It's a texture unlike anything else I have felt. It's almost like a thinner version of the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Concealer, because it does have like almost that stretchable kind of feeling, but it's not as, I wouldn't say that the Magic Concealer is heavy, but this is far lighter. Like this is very, very light feeling on the skin. And again, I'm going to show you guys this up close with it finished with my foundation. It just looks beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I've tried the foundation several different ways, with my normal skincare routine, with the Silk Canvas, with the By Terry, I always forget, it's the CC Brightening Serum, and then I've tried using it with and without a finishing spray, and I've gotten different results. Now, in my 10-hour wear test, I decided to do it with the way that I like to wear it best, which is with the Magic Cream and using MAC Fix Plus. If you don't go that route, it definitely stays more matte, but let's go ahead and check the 10-hour wear test, and then we'll talk a little bit more about that afterwards. So for the 2-hour mark, this was right after me finishing up a video. The skin looks smooth, matte, and poreless. Everything just looks perfected, and the concealer looks like there's nothing there. It's just smooth. It doesn't look cakey. It looks like my skin is just really, really pretty underneath my eyes. At the 6-hour mark, it appears more satin all over the skin, which I like more than the beginning when it looks more matte. There's a slight shine around my nostrils and chin, but nothing major, and my pores still look really good. Concealer, again, still looks the same. It's incredible. It doesn't look crepey or anything at all. It gets phenomenal. Now at 10 hours, and I want to remind you that I did spray my face, and I'm using a very moisturizing moisturizer and all of that. So I did become a little oily on my nose and my chin. My smile lines are a little bit more visible of wear than normal, and my upper lip has some shine, but it's not cakey like the other foundations I have tried. So I've got shine, which I can handle, but it's not cakey looking or anything like that. Overall, I would still say this looks really good. There really wasn't any separation or anything, and I could easily take a blotting tissue and just blot off the excess oil. Now I want to talk about how this looks with different application methods. When I use this with my normal skincare routine and I don't go in with a more moisturizing moisturizer, this can look a little bit more dry, a little bit more matte. Even when I first go in with it, it looks a little bit more satin matte than it does when I go in on top of the Magic Cream. The Magic Cream makes it look a little bit more like satiny. So that method I didn't prefer. I used it with the Silk Canvas. Again, it was a little bit more matte, and it looks more perfected, I would say, at the beginning. But the problem that I have is that throughout the day, if I'm not using something to give me extra moisture or use a lot of Fix Plus, it looks more cakey. So it looks fabulous at the beginning, but then it turns into a more cakey kind of look at the end of the day on my skin type, which is combo. I can get dry around my mouth. Right now, my cheeks are a little dry, not too bad, and my forehead is pretty normal. My pores and nose and chin, I always get oily there. So for me and my skin type, I feel it is best to sacrifice and get a little bit of those oils to come through at the end of the day versus looking cakey, because I don't like that cakey look. So if you are combo or dry, if you want to try this out, definitely make sure you're using a Fix Plus, Tatcha Luminous Dewy Skin Mist, something not with alcohol in it, and spraying your face at the end. Make sure you're using a good moisturizer, and just keep the areas that you want to be matte with the primers that you would normally use. So I like this at the beginning with the other methods, but I don't like it at the end of the day. And speaking of skin types that this would work for, I don't think that it's really going to work for somebody who is dry. I think you're not going to like it. I think you're going to have to put a whole lot of work into it to make it work. Combo, like myself, you would have to find the way that it works for you, and I definitely like the way I use it in my methods. Normal skin is going to look great on you, and oily skin I think is going to be iffy. So I think it's possible that it's going to last, but then I also think it's possible that you're going to get a little bit of breakthrough. So it depends on whether you mind blotting your face or not. And I forgot to mention that it looks beautiful with this as well. Anything matte that I put on my face, or anything that's not as dewy as I want, when I use this underneath the By Terry Brightening CC Serum, it just works wonders. So that or the Magic Cream is my favorite way, and a whole lot of Fix Plus. Now for the concealer. This concealer is flippin' heaven. I love this concealer, and dare I say, I might like it more than my Born This Way, Too Faced, Super Coverage, whatever. I thoroughly enjoy applying this. I love the way it looks underneath my eyes. I think this is so pretty. I have used this with my Huda powder, which I did today. I've got it, I baked with it, and it still doesn't look dry. And then I've also used it with this powder right here, which is the Becca Under Eye Brightening Setting Powder. And I've used a combination of both. I like to sometimes set right here underneath my eyes with that powder, and then bake right here with the Huda. I know I'm high maintenance, but this is so pretty. I can't. I am obsessed with this concealer right now. I just think it is one of the most natural looking but flawless looking concealers I've ever used. I highly recommend this one. This is going to be a hit and miss with some people. This I want everybody to try out. If you're oily, just make sure you bake where you need to. And if you're dry, I think you're still gonna like this. I don't really find this to be a matte coverage unless you powder it, then it becomes matte. On its own, it's a satin, just beautiful skin-like finish. I cannot rave about this enough. I am in love with this concealer. So if I don't stop now, I'm gonna go on this whole rant about how much I love this concealer, and I think you guys get it. I love the concealer. But anywho, those are my thoughts. Please let me know how you guys think this looks on my skin. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Have you tried it? Are you going to try it? Get the concealer. Just saying, get the concealer. And I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.